YouTube's going to demonetize creators. Yeah, the YouTube Partner Program is being wound down. We've seen the first signs of it just this week when they've changed the thresholds for monetization. So if you're a creator, if you like to get paid for the videos you put on YouTube, you're going to find it a damn sight harder. And according to Google's own Gemini AI, people who have less than 1 million subscribers, maybe less than 2 million, are going to find that they are out of the partner program by early 2009. Yep, that's it. What YouTube is doing is it's trying to keep its profits high. Now, it's reaching a point where advertising is becoming saturated. YouTube owns the market. It has no real competitors in this market space, and advertising spend is leveling off. They've got all the advertising market there is. So how do you keep creating higher profits year on year if your revenues are relatively fixed? Well, it's simple. You cut your costs. And what's one of the biggest costs to YouTube? It's paying creators by sharing the ad revenue and the subscription revenue on the platform. So after consulting with AI, it's pretty clear that YouTube is now moving towards the point where creators will not be paid a share of the subscriptions to YouTube Premium or a share of the advertising revenues from advertisers. And as I say, the first steps were when they raised the thresholds last week. Now you have to have, 20 million views on shorts, 8,000 watch hours. And another indication that this is happening is that the way that YouTube is now pushing and encouraging creators to establish brand deals. Now, these are the sponsorships you see. You've seen them everywhere. NordVPN, AG1, Squarespace, all these companies that have sponsor spots in videos. And even if you pay YouTube Premium so that you don't have to watch the ads, you still end up watching sponsor segments. So YouTube is trying to push creators away from having to pay them towards having them generate their own revenues through these sponsorship deals, these brand deals they talk about, and also by setting up shops on their channels to sell merch and other things. And the goal for YouTube is not to have to pay anyone anything. And that's where we're headed. So if you're anything other than the very top tier of creator who provide immense value and revenue for YouTube, you're going to be dropped. You're going to be dropped out of the partner program. And how do I know this? Well, as I say, I've consulted AI because I had an idea, I had an inkling this was going to happen, because I've been in the YouTube Partner Program since its very inception. I was one of the very first channels to get awarded YouTube Partner status way, way back. And I was also one of the very first YouTubers to go full-time. The YouTube earnings paid all my bills. It was great. Way back when it started, I was earning a good, healthy six-figure sum every month. Sometimes $8,000, $9,000 a month from the advertising split, because there weren't a lot of partners in the program and there was still a lot of advertising. This was when we just had the little banners. No mid-rolls, no pre-rolls, just little banners at the bottom of the screen. There was a lot of money to be made. But over the years, YouTube has basically opened up the eligibility to the partner program such that now we had a lot of people. And so the advertising revenues have been spread much thinner, and that means that creators are getting paid quite a bit less. In fact, now, I celebrated my 20th year on the platform last month. And so after all that time, I've gone from a four-figure revenue or earnings a month down to 3 figures, sometimes just mid 3 figures. So I've lost an order of magnitude in revenue. I'm not working any less hard. I'm not creating fewer videos. I'm not getting fewer views. In fact, I've got 3 channels now, but I'm still earning a tenth of what I used to earn back at the beginning. And YouTube's goal is to make sure I earn nothing, and that unless you're a multi-million subscriber channel, that you earn nothing, because they don't want to have to share the money that they earn by advertising and by subscription. So be prepared. And as I've run this all through Gemini, and it agrees wholeheartedly. And you might think, if you're watching this video, it doesn't matter to me. I just watch YouTube videos. It won't make any difference. I don't care what happens to creators. That's their problem. They should get a real job. A lot of people say that. And I have bad news for you. If you're just a viewer of YouTube, things get even worse. Because as YouTube pushes creators like myself into establishing brand deals, sponsorships and so forth, and selling merch, videos will become less of an enjoyable experience and more of a sales pitch. You're probably annoyed at sponsor spots already in videos, but they're going to get a lot bigger and a lot more frequent when they're the sole source of revenue for creators to live off. You'll still have the ads, mind. If you don't have a premium subscription, you'll still get ads and massive sponsor segments as creators are forced to go out there and flog a sponsor's branding and their products in order just to pay their bills. Plus, of course, you're going to have them flogging their own merch. because they need to use that to pay the bill. So the whole YouTube experience is going to change very much for the worse. It's going to be almost like the shopping channel. And that's not good at all. And then there is the AI situation. Now, YouTube says it wants to clear AI slop off the platform. I don't believe them. I honestly don't believe them. And I checked with Gemini and it said YouTube will be quite happy to have AI slop as long as it's generating revenues. And I look around and I see there are huge revenues being generated by slopumentary channels. What's a slopumentary? Well, it's where basically the creator of the video comes up with an idea, throws it into AI, AI produces a script, it then passes that script on to someone like 11 Labs, so it gets an AI voiceover, and then it goes to some other video creation platform to create the videos, or it just gets stock footage and slideshows of images that scraped off the internet, so you can recognize them pretty quickly. They have a lot of still images that just slowly pan and are repeated over and over again, and maybe some old footage that's been harvested off another YouTube channel and repurposed, and they say the same things. That generally they want to be at least 10 minutes long so they can get the mid-roll ads in. And so they repeat a lot of stuff. They put 3 minutes worth of information into 15 minutes of slopumentary, and they are atrocious. And sometimes people don't realise they're a slopumentary until they get a way through and realise, I've already been told this, or some word has been mispronounced. You know, like instead of saying bass for guitar, they'll say bass, because AI is not smart like that. So it's going to enshittify the viewer's experience as well. And we've already got so many AI tools in the YouTube studio. If you're a creator, if you don't know this, if you're just a watcher, creators, we have a studio, YouTube studio, where we have resources we can use. One of those resources is the inspiration tab. We can go in there and it'll give us ideas for videos based on stuff we've done before, based on stuff that's trending. It'll give you an idea for a video, you know, the gem of an idea. So you can then take that. You can then run that through Gemini and it can come up with a script. You can then take that script and, as I say, you can voice it over with 11 Labs, and you can use a video producer like VEO3 to create the video, and voila, it's pretty much an entirely AI created video. You've just moved these stuff along the chain from the inspiration tab to Gemini to VEO3. That's all you do. There's no creativity involved in the part of the creator. It's just an automated process. And if YouTube was really against this, they wouldn't be providing all the tools, even thumbnails now. Look on YouTube, all the AI thumbnails. Why is that? It's because YouTube provides a thumbnail generator that uses AI. So all thumbnails are starting to look the same with that AI-ish look to them. And it's really, from my perspective as a viewer, it's really destroying the platform. It's making it terrible. So what do? And another change they've made just this week is they're going to change the way that views are counted. Now, previously, a view on a YouTube video wasn't counted unless you actually watched a percentage of the video. If you just clicked on the video and thought, nah, don't want to watch this, and clicked away, it wasn't counted as a view, obviously for good reason. But now YouTube has changed that. But any view, even 1 second of a video, now counts as a view. Why would they change that? What's the reason behind that? Well, I'll tell you what it is. Because YouTube creators are complaining that their view counts are down. You know, my view counts are down. Everybody's view counts are down. No one's getting as many views as they did. And it's making creators unhappy. And potentially a lot of them are leaving the platform because they're just not getting the views, which means the amount of content goes down. So YouTube has come up with this clever idea, let's change the way we count views. So suddenly, overnight, view counts will explode. And suddenly someone that was getting, say, 100 views on a video might get 300 or 400 views. Or if you're getting 1,000, you might get 10,000, because now even the briefest view of that video is counted and on the display. Another reason for doing that, as Gemini pointed out, is that it helps channels get those brand deals. You can go to a potential sponsor and say, look, I got 20,000 views, even though 10 or 15,000 of them might have been 1 second or less. But then you can negotiate money. The sponsor will pay you money based on the view count. And it means YouTube can then much more easily turn off the partner program, because they're not going to turn it off right now. They're not going to say, well, we're cancelling the partner program for anyone less than 5 million subscribers, because people would just desert the platform. There are a lot of creators like myself who are full-time YouTubers who rely on their YouTube earnings to pay the bills. And if YouTube said, we're not going to pay you anymore, well, obviously a lot of people would just stop making videos, which would leave YouTube in the situation where they had a lot of advertising and nowhere to show it. So what they're doing is they're going to put all their ducks in a row, make sure people have got alternatives, so that when they turn off the YouTube partner program, people can still make a living from their brand deals and their merch and other stuff. So it's a very cynical move on the part of YouTube, but not unexpected. As I say, I have been a YouTube partner for many, many years. I've seen the way they've gradually eroded the earnings of their creators, and they're going to continue to do so because Neil Mohan's role is to make the maximum profit for YouTube, and he doesn't care how he does it. He's not our friend. He's not your friend. He's nobody's friend except the shareholders of Google, Alphabet. That's who he's responsible to. So it doesn't matter what he has to do, he'll do it. And unfortunately, it's not good for the experience. It's not good for YouTube as a platform, and certainly not going to be good for viewers. So there you go. Now, if you're a creator, have you noticed these things? Are you worried that by 2009 you may not be getting a share of the revenues and subscriptions that YouTube collects? Are you worried that you're going to have to go out and get brand deals to survive? Have you already given up on the hope of making even pocket change out of YouTube because now the thresholds for monetization are so damn high? And as a viewer, have you noticed the amount of slop, the sloppumentaries, all the other crap that's coming up, driven mainly by AI? Are you annoyed at sponsorship levels? The fact that even if you've got YouTube Premium, many of the channels now have several minutes of just sponsorship that you don't really want to pay to see? You tell me, go down to the comments, have a good old grizzle, have a rant, have a rave. Let us know, let's share this information. Let us show YouTube we're onto them, we know what they're doing. And if you are a creator, you better start working out strategies for the next 18 months so that you can still pay your bills once YouTube takes your money from you. That's it. This is not my usual content, but if you like variety, have a look at my other videos. And I've got a show. I'm going to do a video about shows because, my God, that's another disappointment from YouTube. Anyway, thank you for watching the channel, and I will see you in the next one.